Good evening, guys. It's Paul again from Brennan Plumbing and Heating. I just want to ask all you engineers out there that you get your typical phone call at night or during the day. Customer wants you to come round, give them a quote or an estimate, what have you, for a new gas boiler or an oil boiler or a central heating system. So you arrange to go around there to have a look. You arrive at the property, you have a chat with the customer, ask them about their requirements and stuff like that. Now, I always look at body language. I don't necessarily worry about where they live or what size of house they've got or what have you. I'm there to give my professional opinion of what they need. But sometimes when you go to a house to price a job and you're looking around, you sort of get this sort of feeling that they've obviously had other guys quoting for the job. So I always go into full detail about everything, because I think it's important to make sure that whatever boiler I'm putting in or heating I'm putting in, that I'm going to make sure that I'm going to allow for everything that's needed for that job, in terms of where the boiler is going. If they've got a combi, obviously where the combi goes is very important. You don't want the combi at one end of the house and all the bathroom and stuff like that's at the other end of the house, because obviously it will take a long time for the hot water to get to the tap, etc. So I always look at all different options and this and that. So I make all these suggestions, and then they start questioning what you're saying. And so damn well that another engine has gone in there and talked about doing this, doing that, but they're questioning you about, well, why is it going there? So maybe they've had trust with the last guy that quoted or went around. But I think sometimes you're on to a no-winner. If that customer's got confidence in the guy that's came before, and he's got the gift of the gab, he's very good at selling, he's very good at what they do. I mean, they always talk about all this and all that, and the customer's got confidence and this and that. So I'll go in, well, no, you don't need that. But if they've got confidence in the guy before, anything you say is a waste of time, because generally they've already made their minds up that they want to use that bloke. So I get a little bit, I think, am I wasting my time here? I'm trying to explain to these people my view on how it should be put in or where it should be put or placed or what have you. And I think, I've now got to sit down for 2 or 3 hours. Now, whenever I look at a job, I'll take some notes, take some observations about what needs to be done and this and that. I'll go back at night and I sleep on it. I know it sounds stupid, but I expect a lot of you older guys, you do that. You go home at night and oh no, I'm gonna think about this. I'm gonna sleep on it, and then the next morning you can wake up. You can go in the office. You can plan out what you're gonna do. My dad always taught me to always plan everything out. So you can work out each section of work, and therefore give quite a detailed quote as to what he's doing. So anyway, so I'll sleep on it in my head at night. I know it's sad, but I do it. So I plan it all out in my head. Next morning, I go down to the drawing board. I think, right, okay, right, got the situation. Let's look at this. I mean, that all takes time, you know. I don't mind all first. I quite enjoy it. You know, I quite enjoy planning out stuff and this and that. And anyway, I'll get onto the drawing board. I start planning it all out. Work out, obviously, the size of the boiler, location, all that sort of stuff. But the problem is, if you've got this doubt in your mind that customer's probably going to go for that bloke anyway, do you want to waste your time planning things out? And also, all my quotes they're all itemized, right? So all my customers know exactly what they're getting. So the boiler, obviously we already talk about boilers. I'm Worcester approved, so generally I'll always go for Worcester. I haven't got a problem with Valen, because again, all German boilers are amazing. I mean, German technology is amazing. So I haven't got a problem with Valen. You know, this area will Paul, we've been priced for a Valen. And I was okay, I can give you a price for a Valen, it's not a problem, but I am Worcester approved, so you will get your extended warranty on a Worcester if I do it. You know, I can quite easily go onto the Valen installer scheme and still get that extra warranty for my customers, which I will. I'm not going to, you know, give them a choice. You know, it's up to them what they want to go for. But I'm now spending hours and hours and hours. I'm going around the merchants, getting prices, doing this, doing that. And I'm sat in my office and I'm planning it all out. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this bloke, I don't think he's going to go for me, because I think he's already made his mind up. Now, what I'm going to say to you, all you guys, do you ever get that same sort of feeling when you walk into a house? You sort of already know that person's made their mind up, and maybe in a way they're just quizzing you. I've had it in the past. Another good thing. You know, I've been doing my job for over 35 years. So I've no doubt in my mind that there's not really much that I don't know. And I'm sure sometimes these customers get me along, knowing that I've been in the business for so long. And they're like trying to sort of get information out of me to see if the last guy is quoting accordingly, if that makes any sense. So they're using my knowledge against some guy who's cheaper or what have you. So yeah, it you know, you can't have that attitude all the time, because obviously, you know, out of 10 jobs you go to, you know, if you get 3 or 4, you know, that's a win-win in my opinion. So you never, you know, knock everyone. I mean, sometimes I'm surprised. You know, I'll get a job and I'm like, I'm never going to get that. And then I do. So it always surprises me. You know, but you sort of do know when people are taking advantage of you because of the fact that you've got that longer term of expertise. So anyway, if any of you guys want to leave me a comment, like me, hate me, and that sort of stuff, you know, follow me. It'd be good to have a chat about this, because, you know, a lot of our time is wasted sometimes on people that just want to get a younger guy in. And I'm not knocking the younger guys, but, you know, they'll get a guy in who quotes them, say for example, $2,000 or $3,000 or whatever, and they'll ask me, I'll give them a quote, well, why are you more expensive? But see, the thing is, I've actually anticipated all the extra work that could be involved, that you wouldn't necessarily see. So obviously if you've got more experience, you've come across these jobs before, so you're anticipating this sort of problem that you could find, once you take the boiler off, or even just a bathroom, kitchen, you sort of know that there are hidden things that other guys wouldn't anticipate, so I always include that as a provisional costing. I say, well, if I take this out and this needs doing, this is going to be your provisional costing for that job. So at least then the customer knows that, all right, okay, I've been given a quote, but I know if something goes wrong, it's going to cost an extra 200 quid, 300 quid. Where a lot of these other guys, all they'll do, they'll go in, they'll give a price really, really cheap, and then they'll start whacking the extras on. All right, because that's how they get the work. Go in cheap. Oh, I'm just going to charge you extras. But don't forget, a quote is a quote. It's a legal document. All right, you can't all of a sudden change your quote. An estimate's different. All right, an estimate is subject to what you look at. You might rip something out, and then obviously you've got to explain to the customer, well, this is going to be extra, blah, blah, blah. But quotes are really good in a way, because you can just sort of say, well, that is what it's going to be, and this is the PCP for that job. All right, so obviously going to all the retail customers, be very careful when you get a quote. Make sure, firstly, it's itemised. You need to know what you're paying for. If you went to Sainsbury's, you always get a receipt, don't you? Just check the receipt. No different with our job, but our job, obviously, is a lot more money. All right, so just make sure when you get a quote, make sure it's itemised. Make sure you know what you're getting, and then if that guy turns around and goes, "Oh, that's more money," say, "Sorry, but that's a quote." Now, my quotes, obviously, they're different. I always allow for the unexpected problems that can arise. And in our job, in all fairness, if we're allowed to, do the actual work, we're not necessarily going to do a bad job. Some guys go, "Oh, I'm at a line for that." That's when they start bodging. All right? If you allow, like I do, for every single thing, I'll guarantee you'll get the best job that that you deserve. All right. So anyway, that's my my thing. Bye bye.